Can you guys hear me? Hello? Oh, this is so disappointing. Can anyone hear me? And hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you. You hear doggies. I don't know how you're hearing doggies. That's so weird. You can hear me? Oh, yay, me. Okay, let me set this bad boy up and get going. I'm so sorry. I don't know what was going on, but I'm glad I'm back. Yay. Hi, you guys. Hi, Kimber. Hi, Heather. Hi, Ricky. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to see you guys all. Sonia, welcome. It's so good to see you. Heidi. Michelle. It's so good to see you all here. I'm so excited today. So, let's kick it off. Let's do it. So the main thing we're going to do today, I love you guys so much. The main thing we're going to do today is get everything set up. So I read you a list of herbs on the last video I did, not the very last, but and so what we're going to do today is put together our fire element and get the first assignment. So I hope you guys are as excited as me. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. So two things are going to happen for me today. First of all, let's get that taken care of. I am going to make mine a lantern, but guess what? I'm out of oil. Let's pray this comes undone. Anyway, I'm out of oil, so I'm also going to make a candle. Isn't it funny how if anything can go wrong, it's going to do it? I got it. Ah. Okay, so to do a lantern, you just want to take your lid off. And we'll get started with herbs right away. I am going to be putting some in my mortar and pestle for the candle element that I have to do because I don't know how soon I'll get oil, but I am going to go ahead and make a lantern anyway so that when I do get the oil, I can switch over. Oh, thank you so much. They're way too long, Kimber. Way too long. So, so let's dive right in. Let's see here if I can get this page and this page together. Okay. That's okay, Heather. That's all right. It works. You don't have lanterns or herbs. I have cinnamon. Cinnamon works. Just remember, whatever you have, use that. Cinnamon's good because it's a fire element. It is going to help you with focus. It's going to speed the spell up. It's going to do so many stinking things. Cinnamon is a good one. I'm going to tell you one more thing it does that I wrote down here that I had. Cinnamon helps with psychic power, which will help you when you manifest. So cinnamon is great. If you have a lantern, Sonia, awesome. Awesome. Remember too, rosemary is an all-around herb. Rosemary does everything. Any little single thing you want to do magically, rosemary will do. So use what you guys have today. If it's cinnamon, use cinnamon. If it's basil, use basil. They all have empowering properties to them. And that's okay, Michelle, because we're going to do a candle too. I'm just going to do a little of both. So I'm going to add to my mortar and pestle as I add to my lantern, because I'm going to also be doing a candle. So whatever herbs you do have, use those. If you don't have any, just empower it. Just empower it. Yeah, rosemary and cinnamon together would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and get started adding my herbs. You guys add yours if you have them. I'm adding a rosebud. I think I'm going to add 2 of those if I can find another whole one. No whole ones, that's okay. I'll add some petals. So the rose is going to bring self-love. And we're going to need that. Shadow work is not easy. And we need to remember to love ourselves through this. Be our own best friends and be gentle as we can be. Just like if someone you knew were doing this and having a hard time, that's what you would be for them. You'd be supportive and comforting and so on. So that's what we want to do. We want to be our own best friend. Next, I'm going to add the dandelion seeds. This is going to help with psychic ability, divination, if I happen to use any of that. I'm just going to use a pinch. Oops, I forgot to put any in my mortar and pestle. I got to get with it here. I'm going to add a pinch to my lantern. Put some in my mortar and pestle. It's also going to give you freedom, the ability to fly when you need to. Got to grab the rose petals to drop 1 or 2 in my mortar and pestle. And so you want the ability to fly because you're going to be doing a lot of dreaming. I'm just making a mess over here. That's all right. I don't have a lot to do today. I got dinner going and everything. Plastic, or that's what I'm working with. Perfect, Kimber. Perfect. Hi, Maggie. Welcome, darling. Perfect, perfect. Okay, next I'm going to use the wormwood. And salt is good. Salt is great for protection. It's also good for focus. A lot of people don't realize that. If it cleanses and it focuses you. When I take a shower, I've said this before in other I want to say broadcasts, but in other videos, that I bathe with salt. I use it in a little pouch that I take in the shower with me, and I cleanse myself with salt all the time. Yeah, Ricky. Okay, next I'm going to use a piece of sage. Just a piece of white sage. I kind of use my, I buy the sages for protection, guys. Protection and focus. I buy sage sticks, and I buy them in bulk, and then I tear them up so that I can use them for this kind of stuff. Next is myrrh. Don't need a lot of anything. Keep that in mind. A couple of pieces is really all you need. So I added some myrrh, which smells divine. And the myrrh is going to give you, I wrote it down here so I wouldn't lose my notes. Where'd I put it? Myrrh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, time to plug in, guys. I knew this was going to happen. I told you, anything that can is going to happen. Hope that works. Okay. The myrrh, I wrote it down because I put it in here for a specific reason. Hi, I put the myrrh in here for? I guess I'm just not going to tell you. It does so many things. It's hard to decide which one I put it in here for. Myrrh. I put myrrh in here for healing. Plug it in, plug it in. I did. Okay, so the myrrh is going to bring you some healing. The orange is next, and it's going to bring luck. We definitely are going to need some luck, guys. Hi, Ben. Welcome. We are starting a life coaching journey. It is a magical life coaching journey. If you are not a magical person, that is fine. You don't have to be to do the course. I know, right, Kimber? Another thing I wanted to tell you guys, when you're done grinding this up in your mortar and pestle and you're going to use it for your candle stuff, guess who wrote me the other day and said, I am going to use it on charcoal instead of a lantern or a candle for my fire element. I'm going to use charcoal and incense instead and make an incense out of it. And that was our sweet Jezebel. She said that's what she's going to do. So I think that's exciting. I never even thought of that. It literally didn't cross my mind. Next, we're going to use some orris root. A little bit in the cauldron, in the mortar, and a little bit in the lantern. When these lanterns are done, they're just beautiful. Just beautiful. Yes, Jezebel, our sweet Jezebel. Then next, we're going to use some mandrake. Mandrake is going to empower this spell a little higher. It's going to give it some oomph to work a little better. It works great for healing. It works great for banishing old habits. It intensifies all your magic. I am making a complete mess in here, you guys. I'm rushing because I don't want to. Now, this is something I didn't mention. I don't want to take forever doing this part because I want to really get going. But I did not mention this, but I am going to throw a habanero in mine. Habanero. Where's the camera? There it is. A dried habanero. And I'm doing that because peppers, first of all, pepper is called for to give you courage. But second of all, because peppers of any kind, I'm going to add some chilies too. Speed up your spells. Yes, Heidi, definitely got to get a mortar. You notice I'm using something to pick these up because I don't want to get stinging stuff all over my finger. I'm putting 2 red chili peppers. Anyway, what I was saying earlier was when you get this done, the lantern is just gorgeous. And when you burn it, you get, depending on what herbs you use, you get a scent. And it's exciting. It's so fun. So fun. This is red clover, because it called for clover to bring luck as well. I'm going to need a lot of luck with my manifestations during this. So I'm using, I just happen to be lucky enough to be an apothecary person. So if you're not and you don't have all these spices, don't think that it's not going to work for you, because magic is all about intention. It's about what you put forth, not about what you have to put in. This is star anise. It's next. I'm going to put one on the floor, one in the mortar and pestle, and a few in here. Star anise again is luck, and it smells divine. Awesome, Heather. That's a good idea. Yes, ma'am, Kimber. Yes, you can. And it's helpful along with stones. If you have the stones when we get to that part. But Heather, if you have the stones. Heather, another thing is the thrift stores are a great option, but I think Walmart carries them for like $7, $6. So if it comes to that, this is carnation. I'm adding a lot of carnation, and I'm going to tell you what I wrote it in here for was to give you the power to obtain. It's important when it comes to your goals to have the power to obtain your goals. So oh, look, there's a whole bottom piece. Can you see that? Of a carnation. I'm going to put that there. It'll look so pretty. Remember, things that you're putting in here look so pretty when you've got your oil in and everything's going. Another thing it calls for is daffodil. I'm going to read why I wrote that. Daffodil. I know you're right here. There you are. And that's luck to your workings and magical, whether they're magical or mundane. And I don't have daffodils, but I have these little fake ones. And they're going to look gorgeous in here. So I'm going to put those in. And I'm going to be using those for luck. And next. Okay, this is something that is my own. I make a mental power powder just to strengthen my own abilities, so to speak. And I'm going to use a little of that in both my cauldron and my lantern. You can make this easily, and if anybody wants the recipe, let me know. I do think I've put it on before, but I don't mind doing it again. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Hi, Jonas, how you doing? Hennessy. Uh-oh. Next is juniper berry, and I've got to get my bowline out to open my package because I just got these. And I'm so excited. This is a brand new bag. So just so you guys know, I get my herbs. I'm an apothecary because I shop cheap. I get my herbs from, let's see if I can get this over here. Monterey Bay Spice Company. I hope you can see that. This cost me $7. Actually, it was $6.50. It is an entire pound of juniper berries. An entire pound for $6.50. That is where I order all of my herbs because you can't beat their prices for the quantity you get. Now, these juniper berries are going to help you with contacting your ancestors and working with your deities. And Mama Hennessy, aka Hennessy, they're going to help you with focus and your divinity, that kind of thing. Oh, gonna need my bowline again. This is Dragon's Blood, and I've only got 2 big chunks. So in here, bowline. I better not do this on my glass top table. So I will put the journal under it. The last thing we want to do is break the glass top table. There we go. So I broke off a piece of that that's big enough for the lantern, and luckily a couple of small pieces came off for the oh, got a little hole, for the mortar and pestle. Next, I am going to use tobacco. The tobacco is an offering. Love you, Heather. The tobacco is an offering to my ancestors and my deity for helping me through this work and joining me. So that's why I'm using tobacco. You can get tobacco easily. If you have a friend who smokes, or if you smoke, take apart a cigarette. If you don't and you want tobacco, I bought an entire pack of wormwood is next. I bought an entire pack of clove cigarette just to use for my magical working. Oh, before the tobacco, I use, where are you? Oh, dragon's blood, piece of dragon's blood. And next is wormwood. And I just put some in there. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I have abdominal cramp sometimes. And of course, I'm going to have one right now while we're working. Isn't that just terrific? Next is Damiana. A pinch of that, and then mortar and pestle, and a good amount in here. And now the Damiana I made a list of everything I added and why. So let me find the Damiana on here. Damiana was to dream your goals and help to manifest them. So that's your Damiana. And next, you may not have these, and I didn't mention them, but I saw them when I was going through my herbs, and I thought, I need to use one of those. This is a pine cone needle. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying yourself, Heather. I mean, Kimber. This is a pine cone needle. Come on, camera. I literally take pine cones apart to get these. You're not going to be able to chop this up in your mortar and pestle. But if you drop a couple, got a hair on it. If you drop a couple in your lantern, first of all, they're going to look really cool. But second of all, what they do is, for lack of a better term, they poke right through the bullshit. They just cut everything out that you don't need. They help you get rid of bad habits. They bring happiness. Pine is called for in here for another thing. Let me find where I put the pine. Pine does so many things that it's hard to know what I decided to do. I thought it was up close. Of course, I don't know where I put it. It's not showing up on my list. Ow. Oh, to increase your own mental powers and help you focus. I was lost. Okay. Now, this is not a requirement, and I didn't mention it. If you've used rose, you don't have to worry about it. But I wanted a piece of rose stem in my lantern. And I'm going to use this big bulky part right here. That is so cool looking, because I think that will look awesome in my lantern. So I'm using that. And go ahead and put the other half in there. And I'm just using it for decoration. I found it, Heather. It does work for protection as well, Heather. A little bit of pennyroyal is going to help with healing and a sense of adventure. It's going to give you a sense of adventure. It's going to help with that because you're going to need it. Quite literally, a journey like this is pretty much an adventure. So it helps with success on your adventure. So pennyroyal. Next is a little St. John's wort, which I am almost out of. And this is going to give you a calming sense and keep things in perspective for you. It's real easy when you're doing shadow work or self work to get overwhelmed. And the one thing that I really don't want you guys to do is quit. And St. John's wort will kind of help you stay calm and not let the dredges of shadow work or self work kind of pull you down. It'll keep you up there and happy. Okay, next one is mallow. Mallow does all kinds of things, but one thing it's good for is good spirit communication with good spirit. A few of these need to get added to my plant list for next year's garden. Yes, I agree, Heather. Oh, when you dry your own herbs, you'd be surprised what you get in them. So my mallow has some hair in it. I might have dropped a piece, who knows. Okay. Yeah, mallow is really good for working with benevolent spirits. So, for instance, if you're asking your guides and your deity and your ancestors to come and help you through this process, then mallow is a good thing to use because it's going to help you with that communication. This is a yellow rose, not called for, however, being used as a bud, because part of my journey is to secure some really, Zale, darling, love you, sweetheart, so glad you could be here. I need to secure some real friendships. I've moved recently, And I just don't know anyone. And so part of my journey, part of my goal work is going to be to find some real good friends and be adventurous enough to meet some new people, because I'm not really good at that, if you can believe it or not. Everybody says, oh, you're so outgoing. I'm not great at meeting people, and I will be quite honest with you. I don't tell a lot of people this, but I kind of have some trust issues. So anyway, those are things I'm going to be working on. Hi, Kitty. We are putting together a fire element for life coach sessions that we're starting today. You got here just in time. If you don't know everything that was listed and you want to put your mortar and pestle to use, and oh, thank you, Heather. You want to put your mortar and pestle to use and secure yourself a blessed candle for this, then okay, Sonia, that's fine, sweetheart. Then please join us and do that. If you don't feel that you need a fire element to do the life coaching process, you're 100% right. You don't. But join us anyway, because we'd love to have you here. Okay, next, I'm using a little fern. Fern kills off bad habits. That's what fern does. It does many things, but that's why I'm using it today, to kill off my bad habits. My napping, I nap way too much, you guys. My smoking, just so many things that are bad habits for me that I need to get out of. So that's why I'm using the fern. Bad habits. And next is calendula, marigold, same thing. They're the same. I'm not good at meeting people. I've lived here 10 years and only talked to the cashier at my grocery store. Oh, Heidi, I'm sorry to hear that. I know how it feels. The calendula buds are what I'm putting in the lantern, so they'll look pretty. That was a pretty one. But I'm actually going to put the leaves in the mortar and pestle for the candle. Again, I'm doing both because I'm out of oil for my lantern right now. So I am going to be using a candle in the beginning. However, I am going to use my lantern as soon as I get some oil, which might take me about a week. So I am also doing the candle blessing today. Napping is needed, but not every day. I agree it has its place, but I mean, come on, there should be a limit. Next, we're using beautiful, delicious smelling lavender. I get Klein in the bag. It's so delicious smelling. So delicious smelling. I'm going to put a lot of lavender. I need a lot of calm in my life. Zale. I need a lot of calm in my life, and especially when I do self-work. And I would suggest, if you have lavender, please add it, even if it's oil. It's important to stay calm when you're doing this. We talked about that before. Yes, lavender is my catnip too. Dreamtime is a blast. Gotta turn my back. Lavender, you want to stay calm when you're doing self-work. You can get worked up pretty easy. This is burdock. Burdock, again, is for health. Keep you healthy. This is mental health, physical health, just healthy. You want to be healthy. So there's a, next is groundsel, another one that is good for health, health and focus. We've got a lot of focus herbs in here because we're going to need it. We're going to need a lot of focus. I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can so we can get to assignments, because I know that's what everybody is anxious to hear. And I hope everyone has a journal today. I need to dry some more ginger. Because the first assignment is going to be journal work, and it's a real easy one, but it's something you're going to carry over till the next video. So it's a daily assignment. just trying to get this ginger root out of here without losing it all. Ginger root, again, is for health. It does a lot of things. It speeds your spells. It gives you focus. It helps with manifestation. All around good one. So I know somebody had ginger because I remember hearing it. This is mace. I don't know if any of you have ever seen. It smells delicious. Raw nutmeg, basically. But this is mace. It is just a nut. Now I'm going to show you what I have to do with this. The big one, I'm going to add directly to my, I'll be right back. Don't leave me. I forgot to grab something. Okay, so what you do with mace to cook with it, or any, I love ling, is you grate it. So I'm just going to grate a little bit into my, maybe, into my mortar so that I get it on my candle as well. It's important to me. The smell is divine. And I'm going to put the rest of that nut in my lantern. And then I'm going to pick up this dust that I, of course, got everywhere. I told you I can't do this today without making a mess. And I'm going to drop that in my mortar and pestle as well. Patchouli is wonderful for enhancing your mood. It's also good for self-focus. It's a good, oh, it smells so spicy. It's a good thing for focus. Next, we're going to use vervain. Vervain is going to help with luck as well as focus. And this is all I have left of my vervain. So now I'm going to have to get some. Another one we're going to use that stinks, so be ready for it, is valerian root. I have some really big chunks, and I was going to use one of those because the lantern would show it through, but it stinks. I don't know if you've ever used valerian root, but it smells like the dirtiest dirty feet imaginable. So you probably don't want to put a whole lot into your lantern. Excuse my hands being in front of the camera, guys. You probably don't want to use a whole lot in your lantern because, like I said, when you're burning this lantern, those scents from your herbs will soak into that oil, and eventually you will be burning what you are putting in your lantern. You're going to burn that scent, and you don't want valerian root stinking up your house. This is garlic. I would rather use cloves, but guess who don't have any today? So I'm actually using powder. Garlic powder does so many things. It's good for health. It's good for speeding spells. It's good for focus. It's good for maintaining anything, maintaining. Valerian does stink, and the flowers do smell amazing. Isn't it weird that you can get something that smells that horrible and it has a flower that's amazing? Lemon balm. Lemon balm is an all-around great herb. It does everything. It's a lot like rosemary. It will help you focus. It will help with healing. It will give you strength when you're working psychically. It will give you manifestation strength. Now remember rosemary being the end-all be-all of herbs. If you have no other herbs and you're wanting to do this with us, grab some rosemary. Rosemary does it all. It covers every aspect of any magical herb there is. Rosemary does. And it smells amazing. So it's something I put a lot of when I'm making lanterns, because when they burn eventually and get infused into that oil, I want to smell them. They smell amazing. And fresh rosemary is the best smelling. I know Heather knows that. I have a beautiful rosemary plant in the yard. It's trying its hardest to grow, but it's still just a stubby little thing. It hasn't grown a whip, but it's alive and it's working and it's growing what it can. And those leaves smell amazing. I will go over there and just grab some off just to sit and roll them in my fingers and smell the rosemary because I love it so much. I'm going to save that for last because it's huge. Next we have, what are you? I think I already did this. I think this is mandrake. It is. I already did mandrake. I guess I didn't realize I had a little. So I grabbed the big one. Okay. This is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is amazing for focus, and you want a lot of focus. You don't have to put a whole leaf in. You can break it. I'm hoping it will curl kind of around and be whole in there. It did. It did. It did. I'm going to try one more. Oh, that's going to look beautiful when this oil is in here. Yes, it curled around just like I wanted it to. Nice. Now I need a little piece for my mortar. There we go. Yes, rosemary smells delicious, and it is an amazing herb. It's so good with everything. Chicken, lamb. I mean, it's just such a good herb. Yarrow. Yarrow, 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 yarrow. Great for focus, yarrow. Good for health too, but great for focus and manifesting. Colt's foot. Colt's foot is great for divination and bringing you the strength to envision what it is you want. It's a good vision drug. I mean, herb drug. Well, herbs are drugs, but it brings you a psychic vision type power, and you really want that when you're trying to, without giving too much of the program away, when you're trying to focus on your true life, what you are truly meant to be and do. Okay, sweetheart Jezebel, it's so good to see you. You definitely want Colt's foot. And oh my gosh, Heather, I so wish I could be your neighbor. I love you, Jezebel. I can't wait till you get to do it and let me know what you think as we get going. And Jezebel is the one with the idea of the incense and using a charcoal burner. So she will be doing her herbs, I'm assuming, in a mortar and pestle like I am, as well as my lantern, so that she can make an incense out of it and burn it on a charcoal, which I thought was genius. It didn't even cross my mind, Jezebel. It didn't even cross my mind. So that was genius. I'm grateful to you for that idea. Okay, next is dandelion. Dandelion, again, is good for focusing, and it's good for, and it's good for, I'm using dandelion heads because they're going to look really pretty in my lantern. It's good for focus and it's good for manifestation. It's really good for being able to dream. And this course is full of a lot of dreaming. I'm going to have to go. I just wanted to make sure I popped in, and love you, Queen. Bye, guys. I will catch up soon, Renee. You betcha, Zale. I love you, darling. So good to see you. Remember, you're divine. I don't get to see you guys often enough. I'm so happy I'm back to YouTube because I miss you all. This is marjoram. Marjoram is going to bring you vision as well. And you want vision when you are setting goals and really looking to Jezebel, and really looking to further your guidance from your, bye, sweetheart. Have a blessed day is right, Michelle. Your guidance from your guides or deities or ancestors, it really helps with that as well. Do you have room, Jezebel? Next is allspice. I'm using whole allspice. going to drop a couple of berries in there. And the allspice I wrote down, it does everything, but I wrote allspice down specifically for something. I remember something important. Peace as you do your self-work. Yes, I love marjoram. I love it for magic, and I love the scent. It smells delicious. It all smells delicious, and when you get it all put together, you're gonna be amazed at how delicious your house smells. Okay, be careful with this next ingredient. It's regular black pepper. I use coarsely ground black pepper for my spells, but I don't need much. This is just going to speed the spell up, bring focus, and that type of thing. And we don't want a lot. It's going to make you sneeze your butt off if you're not careful. Okay, next we have caraway. Caraway is a great one. And I added caraway for a specific reason as well. Where did I put it? Caraway. To increase your own mental powers and help you focus on your self-work. Also good for manifestation. It's also good in bread. Okay. Next, we're going to add a little bit of frankincense. Frankincense is a great all-around thing. Resin. It not only smells delicious, because oh my gosh, it does, but it's really good for focus as well. And you can see I'm really working focus heavy. I need you to be able, you need you to be able to really focus on what you want. I'm going to help you focus on how to get it, but you really need to focus on what you want. I'm adding a half a stick of cinnamon. That is going to look gorgeous in there. And then I'm going to get some crumbs out of here for my mortar and pestle. No, not you big stick, just some crumbs, please. Thank you. Sometimes long fingernails are helpful. They're too long right now. They're way too long. I keep jamming them. My daughter's going to do a fill on them, and we'll cut them down in a few days. Next, we're going to use poppy. I put this in here for a specific reason too, to chase away ill feelings and bad habits. Poppy is really good for getting rid of bad habits. And I'm assuming everybody is going to want to do that, considering we're doing self-work, that we're going to have a lot of things we want to just, that we're done with, that no longer benefit our life. You got distracted. What was that, Linnea? Oh gosh. I put in poppy seed, frankincense. Frankincense is what it was. Next is olive leaf. Olive leaf is good. Olive leaf is going to help with forgiveness, not just of ourselves, but of others if we hold hurt, malice, contempt. It's going to help us get rid of that. I'm going to drop one in the mortar and 3 or 4 in the lantern. Olive leaf is really easy to get when you live in California, where they grow the olive. And now that I don't, I'm going to have to actually pay for it. That's terrible. Next is catnip. Again, focus. A little bit here, a lot there. Make sure your kitties aren't around. They'll be wanting to get into it. Next is whole clove. I'm using whole clove. You can use powder. I'm using whole clove to help get rid of any unwanted habit and any pain that is left over from your life. Clove is really good at removing pain and anguish and sorrow and sadness, that kind of tree. Yes, everywhere in Northern California. And then next we're going to use a little mullein again for focus. Come on. I know a lot of people drink mullein tea. Not a bad idea when you're doing this work. Another tea that's not a bad idea when you're working on yourself is ginger tea. Ginger tea is great when you're doing self-work. It's terrific for focus. It warms you on the inside and makes you feel kind of cuddled and loved. And trust me, when you're doing this kind of work, you want to be cuddled and loved. I know, right, Michelle? This is Uva Ursa. I put this in here too for a specific reason. There it is. Psychic power, which will help you with manifestation. So Uva Ursa is a type of kind of like a resin powder. And we want our psychic ability to be strong during this work. So like I said, we're going to be goal setting. Time, again, focus. And the smell is amazing. We want to smell it. So I'm going to put a bunch in my lantern. Another one of those like rosemary that I want to really be pungent when they soak into that oil. So I put quite a bit in there. Can you imagine how divine this lantern is going to smell after a couple of months when it gets really in there? Oh, yes. Kombucha. Kombucha. Do you do it yourself? Do you grow your own mushrooms and ferment them yourself, Heather? I have been looking for a mushroom for so long, but I am not willing to pay $40 for it. My husband loves kombucha and what it does for him and how it makes him feel. The store-bought stuff just doesn't seem to work as well, though, so we really would like to get our own mushroom. This is bay leaf pieces. I wish I could have found my whole bay leaves because my clothes are blowing away. Shoot. I really would have liked to have put some whole pieces there of the bay leaf, but that didn't happen. Okay, they're not blowing off the fence, they're just blowing around, so I will keep an eye on them. Next is just some dandelion leaf. I've already used dandelion roots, but I wanted to be sure to get some little extra dandelion in there. Okay, here's Icky Boy. A little bit of valerian, and I got the smallest out of my bag of big valerian because I didn't want much. Please give me just one. You might say, well, if it stinks so bad, why are we using it? It does stink. It stinks terrible, but it has such good properties to it that we need. Healing. Find someone you can buy a baby from. A baby what? SCOBY? Oh. It gives you focus. It works for health and healing. It works for forgiveness. It works for a lot of things, and that's why we're using it. But yes, it stinks terrible. So Meadowsweet is next. And Meadowsweet is going to help with self-love and with divination. Next, we're almost done, guys. 2 left. Next, we're going to use rue. Rue I put in for a specific reason. Where are you, rue? Oh, help with manifestation. My rue is the stems. I don't have the leaves, and I wish I did because they're, I know, easier for this mortar and pestle if you do, but I don't. I have to go through and get the little tiny stems for the mortar and pestle because they're so hard to. Yes, very powerful herb. Angelica, you all know this is my favorite herb, this one and mandrake, because they bring such power to what you're doing. And I just got a whole new pound of Angelica. So I'm going to pile this puppy full. I need a lot of power in this spell work. I really, really want this lantern to do for me what I need it to do, which is keep me from stopping this program. That's what we should all be really focusing on. We want something that's going to keep us from stopping the program, slacking off, quitting, getting uninterested. We want something that's going to help us finish, and that's what this is all for, to help us stay focused, finished, manifest. Excuse me. Last but not least, not last, but I have oak. I have oak chunks. Come on, camera. Just little pieces of oak bark, and I'm going to drop one of those in there. And then I'm going to get to the crumbs at the bottom and put a little in my mortar and pestle. Come on, fingernail, give me some good. There it is. I'm lucky in California because there was oak trees everywhere in Northern California, but I'm lucky here too because my neighbor has 2 of them. So all I have to do is be very friendly and maybe I'll get some more. That last herb was this herb? What? No. Oh, Angelica. Angelica. And yes, strength. You're going to need strength. Okay, so that is all of the herbs. Oh my Lord, you guys. I don't know what concoctions you have in front of you, but they smell as divine as mine. You've got it going on. Okay, now, this is not a requirement. So I did mention it, but it's not a requirement. But I am going to use some dirts in mine. You don't want to use a lot because you'll muddy up your oil and it won't be pretty. But you know, a touch is all you really need. And I'm going to use a tiny bit of courthouse dirt for any legal matters that may come up. You're a terrible student. Why? Why are you a terrible student? I don't think you are. Catholic Church dirt. I'm going to tell you why I'm using Catholic Church dirt. Any extra power you can get from divine is a good thing. Remember, you just want to touch. You don't want to muddy anything up. Catholic churches believe very much in ritual. They believe very much in the power of the divine and in saints. And if those people and deities and spirits want to work for me, I'm more than happy to have it. I'm going to use a tiny, tiny dash of hospital dirt for help. Use doctor's office dirt too. You daydream too much? Well, you got a good focus palette going here. I don't need graveyard dirt. I'm going to use a little bank dirt to help with prosperity as I go. Remember, the secret here is just a little sprinkling. You don't want your dirt to overpower your herbs, and dirt will, trust me, it's a strong smell all on its own. And that's a cursing one, so we don't want that. Okay. Oh, that's awesome, Heather. We used to have a beautiful, beautiful Catholic church in our town, which is where I got my dirt. But it wasn't quaint by any means. It was huge, but it was gorgeous. Okay, little drink. Look at that. I don't know if you can see, if I can do it justice in the light, but look how beautiful that looks. And when the oil comes in, it's so thick that things basically just float. Oh, it's on a registry. It must be a very old church. So before I cap this, I'm going to take just a minute and I'm going to empower it. So give me just 1 minute. I'm just going to empower my herbs. Oh, I got a hair there. I want to empower my herbs to help me with everything: focus, forgiveness, guidance, love, peace, calm. Don't forget manifestation, direction, and guidance. Those are important things to add to it. Remember, you've got your tobacco in there. So you're going to have guidance from ancestors and deities when you call on them. There we go. Okay, so the lantern is put together. Like I said, I can't use it because I ran out of oil and didn't realize I was out before the series started. So that's okay. That's okay because I get to show you more about blessing and utilizing a candle and how to do that. So that's good. Now I've done this before on my channel with many different spells. We're going to just start crushing. When you use a mortar, remember to push down and twist. Push and twist. You know, a lot of people, you'll see them going like this, and you want to do that to mix it. But to get through that hard stuff, you want to push and twist and push and twist. That's what's going to get you through the difficult stuff, is pushing and twisting. And I learned that from a little old Mexican lady, I don't know if she was Mexican or Guadalajara, but she taught me about a mortar and pestle and how to twist, because the hard stuff is not easy to get broken up. And I don't know how broken up I really want this, to be honest with you. I want it to decorate my candle. Mix it a little. I really want it to decorate my candle. So I don't want it to be ground down to powder. I want to keep it kind of whole. But you've got pieces of star anise and root and that kind of thing in here, and big chunks of leaf. So you're going to want some breakdown. Oh, the smell is amazing, you guys. Wax on, wax off. Oh, the smell is... Lori! Hi, Lori. How are you? Welcome. I'm so happy you joined us. So you're going to want it to be kind of thick. There we go. So you're going to want it to be chunky. And then, so this is going to be the difficult part, is trying to get you guys where you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can. No. Daggone it. Okay. So I'm going to hold you here, and I'm going to spread this out, and I'm going to make a very thick line, because my candle is pretty wide. Okay. Now you can see I've got berries in here, juniper berries and allspice that didn't get crushed. So I'm dropping those back in my mortar and pestle, or my mortar. There's a piece of resin. And I've got this big chunk. Okay, those things I'm going to put back in. Is Tangi here? Oh, I was getting so excited. Yes, the thrift store shimmy, I loved it. I miss our Tangy. I miss her so much. So I'm just trying to break up these berries. They don't have to be tiny. I love our Tangy, you guys. Whoops. Sorry. Be right back. Okay. I got excited too. Oh, our sweet Tangy. For some reason, my orange is bendable. It must have gotten moist in storage. Okay, so I'm putting this back down with the ground up juniper berries and the ground up allspice. So I will show you now what it looks like. So it's a nice thick line. There we go. So it's a thick line of herbs. Okay. So that's to attach the herbs to the candle. Would that work? Well, you know what really works is the oil. The oil, yes, she is, Michelle, definitely here with us. The oil is really going to help this stuff stick to the candle. And it may not be super thick, but you can really heavily oil your candle. I'm just breaking up some of the leaves here as we talk. You can heavily oil your candle and it's gonna stick to it. So I'm gonna get my candle ready. Got a cover on it because it's a Silver Goddess candle. And I'm using it because it's a special candle. I only use the silver candles when it's something special. They burn a little funky, but that's okay. I wanted this to be a really special candle. For my blessing oil, I'm actually using my Hecate oil because I would like her blessing. This is a beautiful oil. This is what your lantern's going to look like. All gorgeous with pieces in it like that. And just beautiful. Just beautiful. Anyway, Hecate's oil smells heavenly. It's very fragrant and very flowered scent and very sweet. And I could just sit here like this all day. I'm going to grab a paper towel because once I'm done doing this, I'm going to have something to wipe my hands on, and I didn't think of that. So I'm in the dining room. It's not far. Give me just a second. Okay. I got a couple because I get pretty messy. At least I can admit it. I get pretty messy. Okay. My floor is just covered in herbs, you guys. Hecate oil, yes. I make my own. It's beautiful and it smells amazing. Okay, so what you're going to do, I'm going to open my herb towels just so I don't spill it all over my floor. There we go. So what you're going to do is literally just pour it in your hand. You're going to just pour some. And when I say pour it, I mean liberal. You want it to really, really coat your hand. And then grab your candle, coat the bottom, and coat the side. Just rub it all in really good. You want it heavy, so don't worry if it is. That's okay. Coat your wick. And then personally, I'm going to do it again. The cool thing about this silver candle is that it is very porous. So I think it's going to actually really get the oil well. Yeah, I knew I was going to spill, and I did, of course. I didn't let myself down. Now, while it's getting wet, set it on the edge of your herbs and start rolling. When you get to the other side, turn it over and roll again. And what you're going to end up with is something like that. Now you can keep rolling. I do. I keep rolling. But remember, you can lose some big chunks if you roll too much. So be careful. This is what your candle is going to look like when it's done. It's just going to be gorgeous and covered with herbs. Then I'm going to grab a few and I'm going to sprinkle them on top. And then I'm going to hold the wick and dip the bottom in the herbs as well, so that the herbs are actually covering this entire candle. You see, no, I guess I'm going the wrong way. See, the bottom and the top are completely covered, and then I'm going to set it on the base, in which it will burn. And now I'm all gooped up and nasty. Thankfully, I got paper towel before I got that way. Because normally I wouldn't think of it. Oh, the smell in here is just amazing, you guys. I don't know how my buddy walked past and didn't just pass out from how good it smells. Okay. Of course, I got oil everywhere, but that's okay. Beautiful oil. It smells delicious and it's worth it. So close my oil up, because we've all seen what Candy can do when she doesn't close the oil. Do you guys remember that video? It was such a mess. Yes, it came out so pretty, didn't it? So that is going to be my fire element for my self-work, and until I get the oil for my lantern, and then it will be. Oh, you guys, I'm in heaven. There is no need for the incense to be relit or burn another one, because it just smells like heaven in here. It's just amazing. So now, if you have done this to be an incense, then now that you've got it good and mixed up, again, you do not want this to be a powder. Mix it chunky like I did for an incense. And then now you can put it in a baggie. So I'm going to save mine just because I don't like wasting my herbs, first of all. And second of all, because I love incense, and this is going to make an amazing incense. So I'm just putting it in a baggie. I try hard not to waste my herbs, and I have quite a few in this group, and I knew I would, so I brought a baggie so that I could save it for incense. It's not wanting to go in here. Give me just a second. It's going to get right in your way, and I'm sorry, guys. There we go. So I have quite a bit of incense now. See, oh, quite a bit. So on that note, we are going to light a charcoal. I'm going to have to get my rock because I don't want to put any heat on my table. So I have just a rock that I use in the house when I use a charcoal burner. Look at this candle, guys. Look how beautifully that came out. That came out gorgeous. And the top is done. And I've got mine on a mirror. Mirrors, when you burn candles, really help amplify whatever magic it is you're doing with that candle. So I always use a mirror under my candles. Okay, so we're going to light a charcoal. And this is the way that Jezebel was doing it. Oh, my charcoal just fell apart. Let me get it. That's all right. You can use those for, you can use those that fall apart for black salt. I need to wipe my hand. I don't want to get this on my clothes. And my lighter is here. So when you light a charcoal disc, you hold it with something because you don't want to burn yourself. It's going to spark. Don't worry about it. It's not bad sparky. Just sparks, little ones. And you want to hold your lighter in one particular spot and get it really good and hot in that spot. That's how it lights. You see it sparking. And once you get that side lit, you can go to the other side if you like. Really, one side is plenty, but I'm in a hurry. Okay. Once you get it good and lit, you're going to set it on your holder, kind of towards the middle. It doesn't smell like it's burning. I'm wondering if this is just bad charcoal. Oh, it's warm. Okay. We're going to set that to the side and let it get good and lit. It takes a while. And while we do that, guess what we're going to do? We're going to start. You need to practice this. Okay, so we're going to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to invite my ancestors and actually, not for this part, I'm not. Because this is not the self-work part. This is just the first assignment part. And this is something that you're going to be doing every day, this first assignment. So grab your journals. And get to your first page. And this is what you're going to ask yourself every single day. What 3 things am I grateful for today? And you're going to write them down, 3 things. Now, there's rules. You cannot put, I'm grateful for my home, my family, and my car. Every single day, you cannot do that. You can put, I'm grateful for my home, my family, and my car, and maybe 3 days later, something happens and you threw your brakes on and your car came to a dead stop without hurting you or anyone else, and you're extremely grateful for your car that day. Go ahead and add your car again. But please, whatever you do, be grateful, be thankful for 3 separate things every day. Now, this is the first assignment. Don't worry. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is a lot. It is a whole lot. It's going to do so much. So 3 things you're grateful for. And I'm going to write gratitude. And my 3 things today that I'm grateful for. Today I'm grateful for my washer because I was able to do laundry. And put a little explanation as to why. Why today you're grateful for that. Next, I'm grateful today for my herbs because I was able to make it smell so good in here by doing my lantern and so on. So because they smell well, they smell good. And last, I'm grateful for you guys. So by you guys, I'm going to write YouTube family. For caring so much for me. So it's going to look something like this. I don't even know if you can see that. So that's your first assignment. So I am going to come back Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I'm going to make sure that I got everything done that I wanted to get done today by looking at my notes. But I'm going to come back Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Yes, heck yes. You can say anything in the world that you're grateful for. Just please don't repeat yourself every day. Really give it thought. This is the reason I'm saying that, because a lot of people will hear, you know, when I did life coaching professionally, I would get books back from people and they would turn the following appointment and they would say the same thing every single day. They gave no thought to what they were grateful for. And it won't work if you're not being grateful. And you're not being grateful when you're just jotting things down. I want you to feel that gratitude. I want you to feel thankful. I want you to understand that being grateful is the foundation of everything. So feel it. Don't just write it. So that's what I'm saying. So next of all, I want you to Give thought for a minute to your dream life. Now I want you to take the word dream life and toss it in the garbage. It is not a dream. This is not a dream. We are not going to work towards a dream. The word dream, good, Heather. The word dream makes it sound as though this is not attainable. It's a dream. So throw the word dream life in the garbage. It's not a dream life. What this is your true life. Know that. Know it deep down. This is your true life that you're working for here. This is what you're going to attain, your true life. So lose the word dream, pick up the word true, and you're good to go. Next, if there are certain situations you want to work on, like say fertility, your marriage, people not gossiping, fidelity, maybe someone's not true to you or you're not true to them. And these are things you want to work on in your life coaching, in this process that we're doing. You can add herbs for that. And I suggest that you get Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs and look in the back, because it's going to tell you under certain headings like fidelity or fertility or stopping gossip and that kind of thing. It's going to show you that. Man, we've gone on a long time. I'm trying to hurry, guys. And then, oh, I forgot the most important thing. Forget it. Let's get back over here and open the lantern really quick. So only take a second. I'm trying to hurry, guys. You have to put an item of yourself in your lantern. And some snake skin. If you can, you want to put some snake skin. Snake skin is going to give you invisibility, which is not to make you invisible, but to give you privacy while you do the shadow work. You want to be able to take your time. We talked about that in the last video. You really want to be able to say, honey, I need 10 minutes to myself, and not have him argue with you. And you want your children to allow you that moment. And this snake skin is going to help with that. I forgot to put my snake skin in, so I'm going to do that. And then my item that represents me is a bear claw. You guys know me who have been on my channel a while, and you know that I very much am in affinity with the bear. It is my soul animal, my spirit animal. And so I have a bear claw, and that's what I'm putting in my lantern to represent myself. As far as stones go, I'm adding a tourmaline for strength and courage and protection. I am adding a Apache tear. I don't know if you can see that it's see-through or not. No, you really can't. It just looks black. It's absolutely see-through. Can you see that now that it's see-through? Hang on. There you go. Now you can see that it is. Okay, Apache tear soaks up sorrow and sadness. So we're going to use that. I'm going to use a red jasper for healing, a rose quartz for self-love, a amethyst for psychic ability. It didn't feel like a long time. I'm so glad. A quartz crystal for protection and strength and adding to my spells. And then I'm going to use a blue lace agate. And the reason I'm using that is because I sometimes have no ability to say what I really need to say, to stand up for myself, or just say what needs to be said. So blue lace agate is really good for that. So I'm using it. I put my daffodils in. I put my, okay. And then that little piece of stuff that I found today that is, I don't know what, but just a bunch of sticks coming together like from the vine and then ending. I don't know why they did it, but I'm putting that in because I think it's just gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid back on my lantern and we are done with it. And then I'm going to enchant it one more time, but I'll do that off camera so we can get done here so you guys aren't like feeling like you're being taken too much time. So we'll set that aside. We've got our candle lit. You do not have to light your candle or your lantern to do your gratitude. Your gratitudes are just that, they're gratitudes, but it's something I need you to get in the habit with is doing it every day. If you're using a lantern, you should be able to add your herbs easily to it, but if you're using a candle, you're going to want to mortar and pestle them, which we've already gone through all that. Just checking my notes to make sure. Yes, this video will be up for replay. There's no worm in there. There's a worm in there. No, there's no worm in there. It's nothing like that. It's just stick. But it's so cool, isn't it? And if it is a worm, it's going in my lantern. But I didn't see anything like that. Remember to enchant everything with all of your intentions, not just one or two. You want your intentions for manifestation to be there, for dreaming, for vision, for commitment, especially dedication, time, everything to go in there. Lastly, if you have a habit of being inconsistent and you don't stay true to things, it's really good for you to start thinking about the things that you do every day. Heather, for instance, has a lot of gardens, so she tends to them and she keeps them alive and healthy because she's constantly taking care of them. If you can take care of your garden, you need to start thinking about how you can take care of yourself as well. And because you can do it, you're proving you can do it because you're taking care of your garden. So you can be consistent. For those of you who don't garden, think of those things that you do consistently every day. You brush your hair, you brush your teeth, you get your clothes on, you take your bathing session, whether it's a shower or a bath, you cook your meals. You have certain responsibilities and you do them every day and you don't have any problem doing them. The reason you don't have a problem is because they're important to you. Make this important to you. Just make it that important to you because it is important. And I think doing it as a group, we're going to have a lot easier time staying dedicated because we're going to have to answer to each other for quitting, I think. But anyway, 20 minutes a day for yourself, 10 minutes a day for yourself. It's not an issue. It's no problem. You do it when you brush your teeth. You do it when you brush your hair. You do it when you shower. You cook your meal. You feed your animals. If you can do that, those things that are important that need to be done for your animals or your garden, you can do it for yourself. Keep that in mind. Don't look at it like I'm always inconsistent. I quit everything. Don't look at it like that. Look at what you don't quit. Look at what you do. That's how you hang on to that. It's worth it. I promise you guys, after the first 2 sessions, you're going to start seeing results. I want you to be dedicated to yourself and not to me, to yourself. And most of all, I want you to know you're worth it and be your own best friend. If your best friend was taking up on a program like this that you thought would really help her and then she started slacking off, you would remind her she really needed it. Do that for yourself. Just do that for yourself. That's all I'm asking. So I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you got your stuff put together. And if you don't, you've got a guide on how to do it. I will meet you back here Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, and we will actually get going. And we're going to have a blast. This is going to be so fun. Hopefully I'll have my oil by then, but maybe not. It doesn't matter. I've got my beautiful candle. I hope your candle turned out just as beautiful. And what if you're not sure what you want? Oh, trust me, by the end you will be. And not by the end, actually. By the next session, I'll give you the tools and then you'll begin working. And within a day or so, you'll know exactly what you want. I promise. Thank you, Heidi, for joining us. I'm so happy you came. And you're welcome, everybody. Everyone do their homework every day. 3 things you're grateful for. And I will see you day after tomorrow. I love you all so much. I love you so much. I'm so damn excited. Thank you for joining me. And blessings to all of you. Remember, you are divine, sacred beings. You are divine. You are of the divine. You are sacred because you are of the divine and because you live. And I love you so much. I love each and every one of you. You're my big family, and I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you again Wednesday. My email is at the very top of the chat. If anyone has any questions or want to get a hold of me, I put my email, the very first chat thing is my email. So you guys get a hold of me if you need to or want to. I love you. If you didn't get it, let me post it one more time. In case it disappeared, because it doesn't look like I can see it. Oops. 49 at. There it is. Okay, there it is. And I love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a blessed day. Bye, guys.